Good afternoon, everybody. Sorry for the delay in this week's Rhyme of the Times. As you can tell from my voice, I've had a bit of a cold, but I think the voice is just about up for it now. So here we go with Rhyme of the Times for the week ending the 11th of February 2023. The Earth's plates collide, 30,000 have died, while Zelenskyy tried to keep the EU onside. Putin keeps satiating his sadistic wrath by throwing thousands into East Ukraine's bloodbath. Around 850 Russians now die every day. That's the price of Putin's war that he doesn't pay. And clearly he doesn't think it's expensive. He's now planning to splurge on a spring offensive. Thousands more lives treated with disdain, mothers, wives and children condemned to more pain. With Putin's threat to chuck more men into the fray, Zelenskyy on Wednesday visited the UK. A secret trip for the president of Ukraine began with Rishi meeting him from the plane. Zelenskyy had a huge congregation in thrall as he spoke to both houses in Westminster Hall. With humour, charisma, polished presentation, he talked of shared values and history of our nations. As always, the speech showed he'd done his homework. Consciences were pricked and tears were jerked. At the end of the day, his single message was plain: let us get this war over by giving us planes. If we get F-16s, we have guys who can fly. Nothing's off the table, was Rishi's reply. Then more plain speaking in Paris and Brussels as EU leaders had their feathers ruffled. But despite all his great oratorical talents, Zelenskyy knows things are still in the balance. Had he stepped on the toes of those getting cold feet, or done just enough to achieve his bold feat? And after Zelenskyy's mini tour of the West, the Kremlin coward responded as only he knew best, aiming random missiles at children and women across Ukraine to make him feel like he's winning. But megalomaniacal maniacs should take heed. You are human, mortal, you die, you bleed. Nature is stronger, and on Monday morning came a reminder, a terrifying warning. Nature's force and indiscriminate power was thrust twice upon Turkey in the space of 9 hours. The bodies and the death toll kept on mounting, 30,000 people dead, and we're still counting. The earth's surface cracked like an eggshell, parts of Turkey and Syria recast as hell. A place larger than Britain now rubble and rocks after 2 serious quakes and many aftershocks. More awful than Turkey's trauma is Syria's. An earthquake in a war zone makes things more serious. First responders, the white helmets there for the war, struggled in scenes they'd not seen before, their access being inconsiderately impeded when human compassion is all that was needed. Turkey and Syria are long-standing foes. The grind of politics exacerbates human woes. But suddenly there's a moment of unexpected hope, as through the devastation rescuers grope, and a wailing baby or bewildered child is dragged from debris on which a building was piled. On Tuesday, David Carrick finally came a cropper with the sentencing of the tarnished copper. The control freak now has lost all control 31 years before he contemplates parole. It took 2 decades to arrest and convict him, 85 offences on 12 female victims. Commissioner Sir Mark Rowley apologised. The head of the Met has now realised that London's police force is badly skewed by predatory behaviour and non-PC views. The mysterious case of Nicola Bulley by the end of the week had not been closed fully. While family and friends still talk of conspiracy, the police moved their search from river to the sea. On Sunday, a different story, but a similar theme. The banality of normal life suddenly ripped at the seams. This time the conclusion was much more clear-cut. 3 people found dead, no ifs, no buts. A mum, dad and daughter shot dead at Epsom College. Police have said that, to the best of their knowledge, no one else was involved. It was a murder-suicide. The exact motive is all that they need to decide. Another question that is being asked by some: why on a school site did George Patterson have a gun? His wife Emma was the college's first woman head. Hope and ambition tragically killed, stone dead. On Tuesday, one of the NBA's most famed names sealed his place in the Basketball Hall of Fame. 38,387 points in 1,408 games is a regular season record for LeBron James, beating the record set 39 years before, in the year of LeBron's birth, 1984. On Monday, those connected with Manchester City must have felt a shock of electricity. The Premier League charged them. They're not guilty yet, but with 115 counts, I think we can bet, even if the verdict says the fire's gone, the smoke of guilt will keep lingering on. From Blue Moon to Once in a Blue Moon, that's the title of Burt Bacharach's first published tune. On Wednesday we learned he was with us no more. The US songwriter had died aged 94. That first tune, in 1952 sung by Nat King Cole, was followed by 5 decades of Burt touching our soul. For many over 50s, childhoods become blurred, but with a Bacharach tune, sharp focus is stirred, a souffle of chords garnished with Hal David's words.